This mutation is called Rise from the Ashes, and it is being played on Scythe of Amon. We have 3 mutators active. We have Void Reanimators, we have Self-Destruction, and we have Lava Burst. So, relatively difficult set of mutators when they are combined. But the one thing I like to do about mutation casts is to show either a set of commanders that are unfavored or that display an interesting strategy. And in this case, this is an interesting strategy that you can actually use for regular missions as well. There is no limitation. It doesn't need to be on this mutator. You can play Scythe of Amon with the strategy, and it is kind of a fun way of playing this mission. But it is also an interesting cheese that you can do for this particular game. So we can see here on masteries that Raynor has gone for the drop pod speed increase, he's gone for the Banshee cooldown, and he's gone for the mech attack speed. So in this strategy, Raynor will not be using his medics very much. Vorazun has gone for a max Dark Pylon range, or at least attempted to do so given the mastery limitations that she has, gone for the Shadow Guard duration, and has also gone for the Spear of Fortune energy. And we will see what the strategy is as it starts to materialize. Now, the one thing is, Void Reanimators will only start spawning once the first enemy unit has been killed. So you can actually delay the Void Reanimators by just not killing anything while you are starting to take up. Because as soon as a Void Reanimator resurrects a unit, it'll be given an attack command towards your base, and it'll start harassing you. So we can see here that Raynor has already dropped a Marine. This Marine will provide vision for Vorazun to carry out the next step in this plan, which will be to put down a Dark Pylon. So there we go, there's the Dark Pylon. And Vorazun now has also put down a Dark Pylon here, and this Dark Pylon will be providing a little bit of cloaking to Raynor's base so that he does not end up getting harassed a lot during the course of this mission. Vorazun is starting to take up. You can see here the Vorazun has taken one of Raynor's gases, because Raynor is not going to be very gas dependent during the course of this playthrough. He doesn't really need a lot of gas to get to where he needs. He just needs a few upgrades, maybe a few units. But that is pretty much it. So we have here now an attack wave that is making its way towards the player's base. Now, if they do intend on walling off with a bunch of cloaked structures, what I would have very much rather is to have this this bunker pushed back a little bit over here and let the attack wave move into the space and then just wall it off. That way the Void Reanimator ends up getting stuck and can't actually get to where it is. You can see that we have a Time Stop and a Shadow Guard and a Banshee airstrike that gets dropped now, and this Void Shard, this Void Sliver will end up going down very, very quickly. Vorazun has now reused the Dark Pylon to recall those units across, and now the Shadow Guard is making its way over here to deal with this. Unfortunately, the Shadow Guard kind of gets left behind, reducing the amount of damage output, but that is fine. There is more than enough. There is a ping there to make sure that Raynor is also being able to help out. Secret Missile gets targeted onto the Shadow Guard. There's no split there. The Shadow Guard doesn't really care. They are dealing way more than enough damage to take out this Void Sliver as well. So this Sliver will end up getting cleaned up. And there we go, that is that Void Sliver done. And now you can see the effect of the Void Reanimators. There's a Void Reanimator there that is just consistently rezzing these units. And this is why having the bunker a little bit back and moving these, letting the attack wave get actually up onto this high ground allows you to block the side off and prevent you from prevent the Void Reanimator from being able to get to where it wants to be, which is where the dead units are. This play is kind of interesting. Vorazun is pushing through. This is going to cause a problem because the Void Reanimators that will be spawning now will start to resurrect these units, and these units will be given an attack command towards the space, so they will start harassing Vorazun's side. So I'm not really sure if that was the best play on that point. But you can see over here that Raynor has essentially walled the side off, so nothing is going to be able to get through. The only thing that will have to be taken care of is the Overseers there. And now we have a Hyperion that has spawned here, and is going to start attacking this side. Hyperion will have to dodge a little bit because the Lava Bursts deal an extra amount of damage to heroic units. So you can see here this Hyperion just gets completely melted by that one Lava Burst that has spawned. This Hyperion is actually kind of fat, so that's the other thing to also note. Lava Bursts deal an incredible amount of damage to heroic units, so you need to make sure that you do not end up losing things like the Hyperion there. So that was a bit of an error there on Raynor's part. But again, you can see here the Banshees, the Overseers are there because they're aggro to the Banshees right now, and they are what is causing the issue because they're giving a little bit of detection to Amon's units on this part. And Amon will send detectors as well, so if he finds that he cannot attack something, he will try and send detectors to that area, which can be a little bit tricky as well. But now both the commanders are waiting for the next time stop. Time stop will be up in 30 seconds, and that will be the next Void Sliver that will get picked off here. And there's potential, there's a good chance that the second one might also get cleared out as well. We'll see how it goes. That bonus objective is basically a lost cause, not really worth going for it. Raynor is just slowly building up his army right now. And yeah, just having a few Marines, just increasing the amount of DPS he has access to. There's another hybrid over here, and now there's a Void Reanimator that is also resurrecting a bunch of stuff. The Banshee airstrike comes down, so you just go ahead and deal with this hybrid and this Ultralisk. And there's a note here from Vorazun saying that the time stop is ready and therefore they are good to go. And now there's a time stop, and Vorazun sends a bunch of Dark Templars here to go ahead and clean up this Void Sliver, which the DTs are definitely going to do. And on this side, Raynor is going to start pushing in towards this next Void Sliver as well. This Void Sliver goes down, and now I don't know if Vorazun is going to try and recall the army across, or he's just going to leave Raynor to clean it up. I think he's just going to leave Raynor to go ahead and deal with this. There is another attack wave here. And okay, so he's given an attack command to move towards this Void Sliver. We'll provide Raynor with a little bit of extra DPS output. You know, Void Reanimator trying to sneak past the army, but no can do from says Raynor. He is going to go ahead and deal with that. And now we have the other Dark Templars as well that will go ahead, and that is the next Void Sliver and done. So now we have one last Void Sliver, and basically have to wait. I think they're just going to end up waiting for the time stop to come up. I'm just going to recall their entire armies over there and just snipe that Void Sliver. So now it is a question of defending. So for the next 150 seconds, the commanders are going to have to try and defend against the onslaught of attack waves. And remember, these attack waves will have detection, which means they will be able to attack these sides as well. And given that they have a few of these scare units there, this is not particularly fun. You can see here, attack waves kind of blocked, getting harassed here by the bunker. This side, I think, seems to be relatively okay. Some of these units do have the extra range to be able to hit this, but again, not really too big of a deal here. It's just making sure nothing ends up going through. So a little bit of aggro here on this hybrid, just cleaning up this hybrid. Unfortunately, there will be a Void Reanimator that will be coming up here, and they'll be trying to resurrect these hybrids and stuff. So it does get really annoying, but you know, there's nothing really much you can do. The whole thing is just wait now for the next 80 seconds for everything to be cleared. And then, yes, it's not ready yet. There's just a note here. Immortal is hammering away on this extractor, and there is a repair here on Raynor's SCV. So there we go. Still got another minute. Yeah, he has about 60 seconds left onto his time stop, and then they'll be able to do it. In the meanwhile, Vorazun is just warping in some more Dark Templars, and Raynor as well is just building up his army over here. Just trying to make sure that everything's okay. Trying to keep that one extractor alive, the assimilator alive. Just providing Vorazun with a few extra resources that you can use. And you see here, the Void Reanimator there is just starting to resurrect a lot of stuff here. And it is causing a few problems because the Void Reanimator is actually out of range. It just keeps resurrecting everything that is dying up on the high ground there. And there we go. But there is only 5 seconds left on Vorazun's time stop. Time stop is good to go. And now the commanders will be ready to clump up and go. So Raynor's going to move his army into position around this pylon. Vorazun's going to move closer a little bit as well. Everything's ready. Raynor uses a scan, drops a Hyperion, and Vorazun does a full recall here. And now Raynor also uses his Banshee airstrike. And now these guys are just going to try and snipe this Void Sliver, and this Void Sliver really doesn't stand a chance of the incredible damage output that these commanders have. And that is pretty much the end of the mission. All the Void Slivers are down, and that is GG.